Hey guys, this is lesson 1.3. It's called opening a new document. In this lesson, I'm going to show you how to open a new document, adjust your resolution, adjust your size on the document. I'll show you what the differences are in resolution if you're either going to print stuff out or be online. I'll show you the difference in what a JPEG, PNG, and PSD are. Let's get started. So, very first thing, you're in Photoshop. Whenever you first get here, you're going to either get the home screen already, or you'll have your Photoshop open. If you want to open a new document, you're going to go to File, New, and it'll have this screen pop up right here. This is the home screen for how to open new documents. It has some like already pre-selected shortcuts for you. So if you're into photography, they may show you can do a landscape 3x2, landscape 6x4. Those are very common sizes for pictures. Maybe you want to get into a print or for mobile size or even film and video. I'm gonna go ahead and go to. I want you guys to go to print. Actually, let's do photo. I want you to click on photo. The default Photoshop size that they have is 7x5. So the times I say by, it's 7x5. That means like 7 inches by 5 inches. If you look over here to this right, we see that our width is 7, so it's long 7 inches, and our height is 5. Okay. If you want to adjust that, make it long. Tall 7 and width 5, you can. Where it says orientation, you can choose a portrait mode or a landscape mode. Landscape mode means it's sideways, it's long. Orientation for the portrait means it's up high. So you see what happened whenever I clicked on landscape mode. The numbers switched. It went from 7x5 to portrait mode is now 5x7. So whatever orientation you want, you can choose portrait mode or landscape mode. I want you guys to create let's do an 8x10. So 8x10. You should be in portrait mode because that means we're gonna have a higher document than we are wider. Um, Photoshop often does this, which kind of goes unnoticed, but sometimes the default is to be in pixels. So make sure that you have 8x10 inches. If we do a pixels, I'm gonna show you real quick like what that would look like, because this happens to my students all the time. They create a document, they hit 8x10, they think, oh, it looks great, they hit create, and that's what it is. It's super, super tiny because a pixel is very, very different than a inch. Um, I'll show you in a minute like what the differences are in resolution. So make sure you're always at 8x10 inches, not pixels. Okay, so I'm going to adjust this real quick. Hit 8x10 inches or in portrait mode. Good. Resolution. We're going to discuss resolution in this lesson. So for now, this is where you change the resolution. Your options are always going to be either 72 or you're going to have a 300 resolution. Those are going to be the two options that you work with. There are, an infinite number, but like you'll be working with 72 or 300. And make sure you click on pixels per inch, not per centimeter. And then your color mode should be RGB color, white background, and you're going to hit create. So at this point, your canvas should match my canvas, an 8x10, 300 resolution document. This is what it should look like. Now you know how to open a document, you know how to adjust size and resolution. I'll give you a size resolution that I want you to use for your projects. So if I ever say create a 7x5, you know it's going to be a landscape mode, 7 inches wide and 5 inches high, because I said 7x5. I always tell you what resolution to use and what sizes to use. Okay. Now, so you can check those boxes off in your notes. Next part, resolution for web and online. Okay, we're going to get into the differences in resolution and what they are. You guys have heard of pixels, I'm assuming. So every picture that you see, whether you're looking on your phone, your computer, in magazines, on print, whatever it is, every picture is made up of tiny, tiny pixels. Look right here at this cat. So the smaller circle and the yellow right here, this is a zoomed in look of what's in this picture. These are called pixels. If you zoom in a lot, you'll see what each picture is made of. It's made up of pixels. So a picture is made up of a different data. So like the more data you have, the more information you have in a picture, the better it's gonna look. It'll be sharper, more focused, like easier to see. you need to have a lot of data in a picture. Resolution is that data. So the more pixels you have, the higher resolution, the better your picture will look. So for example, let's come down here. PPI means pixels per inch. For every inch you have in a picture, you'll have this many pixels inside of that 1 inch. It refers to screen resolution, and DPI, dots per inch, refers to print resolution. So whenever you're on your computer screen, we always say PPI, it's pixels per inch. Whenever you're ready to print stuff out, we're going to start, the printer uses DPI, dots per inch, so we'll be using those two different terms. It's easy to say DPI or PPI, they almost mean the same thing, but DPI refers to being printed out. Okay, so right here, you see the fish over here. This is 72 PPI. This is a online resolution. This is the most common resolution for being on web. And the fish looks clear, it looks plain, easy to see. If you print this out at 72 resolution, you'll get this over here. You'll get a blurry and pixelated. That's the term the professionals use. It's very pixely. It's very blurry. It won't look good. So whenever you're going to print stuff out, you need a higher resolution. You need more data, more information in that picture. So down here, a 300 DPI for print looks great online, the same as the 72 one. When you print it out, it's very crisp, very detailed, because it has a high resolution. So you need to know what you're going to use for your project ahead of time. Do you want a picture for web, for online, or a picture for print? And if it's for print, it will always be a 300 resolution. If it's for web, you'll always use 72. Write that down. It's a part of your notes. Resolution for web online, 72. Resolution for print, 300. Perfect. Moving on. Another great example. So you'll see these pictures. I got all these pictures off of Google, by the way. This first picture has 300 DPI. Look at the difference in that and 72. 72 doesn't look bad. You can still clearly see it's a dog with his tongue sticking out. However, look at the image quality. Look at the crispness, the details in the eyes, the tongue, the face. There are more details. It looks sharper. So resolution will make a big difference. If you choose lower resolution and try to print it out, it will come out blurry, and that's a bad thing. So make sure you keep your size and resolution in mind whenever you're opening new documents. Okay? Cool. And last thing, with the whole resolution topic. It is really hard to add information. You know how I'm talking about like data and information. So look at this 72 DPI picture over here. If I got this off the internet and I see that this is a blurry picture, you can't just magically add in resolution and say, oh, it's gonna be fixed. It'll be sharp now. That's not. It works sometimes, but it's really hard to do. You can't go from a 72 up to a 300 and say, oh yeah, look, I'm getting this old picture, but now I got this great bright picture. It doesn't work like that. You can't just throw in pixels and data magically. You have to take the picture with the high resolution, and then you can bring it down if you need to. If I want to take this picture and bring it down with less resolution, you can do that. It's a lot easier to do. It's more manageable, but it's really hard to add in pixels, add in information once the picture's already been taken. So keep that in mind. Okay, great. Next note is resolution for enlarged prints. This right here, I don't know if you've ever seen one before. This is a printer. This is the same printer you guys will see like in schools, at your house, but this is a insanely large printer. They're called large format printers. These are for giant posters, think billboards, think big posters that hang up. Dude, guys, have you seen the Y hanging up in our school in the front lobby? That huge giant Y that I printed out? That's a large format print. For those pictures, you need a much higher resolution. I always use 600 resolution. So write that down, 600 for your enlarged print resolution. If you use 72 on one of these large prints, it would be so blurry. It'd be a waste of a print. So resolution does matter. You need to decide if you're using large format print, printed on a regular printer, or an online. So keep that in mind for your resolution needs. Moving down, when should you use JPEG, PNG, and PSD? Okay, so all of these are terms that you need to learn. JPEG is probably the one that you've already heard of before. It's the most common one. A JPEG is a picture. You get it offline. You take it from your phone. It's a simple picture. It can be .jpd or .jpeg. I'm not sure which one is right. I've seen both constantly all the time, so I don't know the difference. But it's pronounced JPEG. Whenever you complete your project, so say you did this right here, you did the work on it, you fixed it up, you're good to go. Now you're ready to save it. You're going to do File, Save As. Go down here to where it says Format, and it gives you these options. You're going to choose the very top. There's 3 JPEGs. You'll choose the top JPEG. So JPEG. Whenever you save as a JPEG, that means that you're done with your project. It's a final product. You cannot go back and make any more changes. If I'm gonna do some real quick adjustments for you guys. I'm gonna color this tongue very badly, a white color. Okay. If I save it as a JPEG and I close out Photoshop and I reopen Photoshop and I say, I don't like white, I'm gonna make it blue. I'm sorry, I'm gonna go back to my original red color. You can't do that. You've already messed it up. So JPEG is the final version. You cannot undo your edits. So make sure that if you save it as a JPEG, you're done with your project. Next one is called PNG. PNG should be used when you want a transparent background. So here's a cool picture of a dog. I love dogs. Hopefully you can tell. If I want to move this dog over and use it in one of my projects, I get my move tool, I click and drag. But look at this white box around it. In Photoshop, you guys will do this all the time. You'll be taking the white box out, which I'll show you how to do later on. I take the box away, and now if I want to drag the dog and move him somewhere else, I click, and it's just the dog. So which is a really cool thing to have access to. So this is called a transparent background, which means there's nothing behind the dog. It's open. These little black and white or gray and white checkers are behind it. It means transparent. It means there's nothing behind the dog. That's a good thing. So to save it like this, if I save it as a JPEG, the white box is going to come back. That's how it's saved if I save it as a JPEG. If I want to keep the transparent look, the pixels, then you save this. It's called PNG. So we'll go down here to File, Save As. Click it says PNG, and that lets you keep the transparent look. And then when you open back up, it's still transparent. There's no box behind it. I can move the dog wherever I want. Cool? Nice. And last one is called PSD. PSD should be used when you want to make edits still. So I'm going to go back to my dog. So say that I, work on this dog. I'm doing some brush edits. Oh, wait, class is over. The bell's going to ring. I want to work on this still. I'm not done yet. So I'm going to save it as a Photoshop file. Photoshop file lets you keep editing and keep working on this project that you haven't finished yet. So I'm going to go over here to File, Save As. Click my format. Go up to the very top. It says Photoshop file. And that's going to show you up to PSD. Okay? So the 3 that we were using are PSDs, Photoshop file, a JPEG, which is your final project, and a PNG, a transparent background. All right? That's it.